Welcome to the JTF-501 Operator Academy. This lesson is part of the Core Operator Certifications curriculum. Today's lesson covers the Crew Operations Fundamentals certification. These principles are designed to improve teamwork, reduce preventable mistakes, and help every operator contribute effectively while serving aboard multi-crew ships during organized operations. Our goal isn't to teach every operator how to fly a ship or operate every station. It's to establish a shared crew framework that allows operators of all experience levels to work together safely, efficiently, and confidently aboard any multi-crew vessel. By the end of this lesson, you'll understand the fundamentals of crew coordination, shipboard discipline, crew responsibilities, and the habits that help every crew operate more effectively. Let's begin. Module 1. Crew philosophy. Every multi-crew ship, regardless of its size or purpose, depends on one thing above all else: its crew. Whether you're flying a two-person Cutlass, operating an industrial ship, or serving aboard a Polaris during a fleet operation, success depends far more on the people aboard than the ship itself. A well-coordinated crew will often outperform a more capable ship whose operators fail to communicate or work together. That's why crew operations begins with teamwork. In JTF 501, we don't expect operators to remain in a single role throughout an event. One moment you may be loading cargo, the next manning a turret, assisting with engineering, deploying with the ground team, or helping recover aircraft. Every crew member should be prepared to adapt wherever the mission requires. Many of our members own ships, and flying them is an important part of Star Citizen. During organized operations, however, event leads select the ships that best support the mission and available personnel. Some of the best experiences in Star Citizen come from fully crewing a ship and working together as a team. Every multi-crew ship also needs someone coordinating the crew. In most cases, this will naturally be the pilot or ship owner. Their role is simply to provide a point of coordination so everyone can work toward the same objective. Throughout this certification, remember one simple principle: a ship's greatest capability isn't its weapons, shields, or size. It's the crew. Module 2. Embarkation and shipboard operations. Once you've joined a crew, your responsibility is to help the operation move efficiently while respecting the ship and the people aboard it. Whether boarding before departure, preparing for combat, loading cargo, or returning from an objective, every crew member contributes by avoiding unnecessary delays and helping maintain operational tempo. Before boarding, make an effort to announce your arrival or request permission to come aboard. Likewise, when departing the ship, let the crew know you're disembarking and announce once you're clear of the vessel. These simple habits are both a professional courtesy and an important safety measure, especially aboard larger multi-crew ships. They help the pilot and crew remain aware of personnel movement and reduce the risk of accidental departures or other mishaps that interrupt the operation. When boarding, move with purpose. Avoid stopping in ramps, airlocks, elevators, or narrow corridors where you can unintentionally slow everyone behind you. Star Citizen's physics can also be unpredictable, so avoid sprinting through the ship, crowding teammates, or cramming into elevators and doorways. A few extra seconds of patience is often much faster than recovering from a physics-related accident. Once aboard, remain aware of the people working around you. Avoid unnecessary movement around the cockpit or active workspaces while others are operating, and move to where you're needed without creating unnecessary distractions. Being a good crew member also means respecting the ship itself. Don't litter equipment or discarded items throughout the vessel. Don't remove equipment or supplies from ship inventories without permission. And avoid unnecessary actions that create confusion or disrupt the crew. Treat every ship as shared operational space, regardless of who owns it. Before conducting weapons or turret test fires, communicate your intentions with the crew. A simple announcement that you're testing a system, or a quick request for permission when appropriate, helps prevent confusion and ensures everyone understands what's happening. Throughout the mission, remain flexible and be prepared to help wherever you're needed. You may begin by loading cargo, transition to a turret during transit, assist with engineering after taking damage, provide security during landing, or help passengers embark and disembark safely. Good crews aren't built by everyone performing one job. They're built by everyone respecting the ship, supporting one another, and remaining ready to help wherever the mission requires. Module 3. Common Shipboard Language Coordination. As operations become larger and more complex, clear communication becomes just as important as good teamwork. One of the easiest ways to improve coordination is by using a shared language. When everyone understands the same terminology, instructions become clearer, responses become faster, and misunderstandings become less common. That said, remember one of JTF-501's core communication philosophies: plain English is always acceptable. Our goal isn't to sound more tactical than necessary. It's to ensure everyone understands what's being communicated. You'll commonly hear the following directional terms aboard a ship: bow or forward, front of the ship, stern or aft, rear of the ship. Port, left side when facing forward. Starboard, right side when facing forward. Athwartship, across the ship from one side to the other. Organized operations may also use ship readiness conditions, commonly called REDCONs. REDCON communicates how prepared the ship and crew are to respond to changing operational conditions. REDCON 4, routine operations with minimal staffing. REDCON 3, prepare for operations. Crews move to stations, complete final checks, and set regeneration points. REDCON 2, nearly ready for action. Critical stations are manned and the crew is prepared for immediate tasking. REDCON 1, full combat readiness. Non-essential activities cease, and the crew focuses entirely on mission execution. In addition to REDCON, organized operations may use Operation Status, or OPSTAT. While REDCON tells you how ready the crew is, OPSTAT tells you what external operations the ship is conducting. OPSTAT governs activities outside the ship, including launching or recovering aircraft, deploying vehicles, embarking or disembarking personnel, cargo operations, EVA activities, and other external movements. OPSTAT Green, normal external operations. Launches, recoveries, cargo operations, and embarkation are authorized. OPSTAT Yellow, external operations continue under increased operational risk and require additional coordination. OPSTAT Red, external operations are temporarily suspended due to combat, maneuvering, or other safety concerns. OPSTAT Black, an emergency external operation is underway. Normal sequencing is suspended while priority is given to an emergency launch or recovery. You don't need to memorize every term after watching this certification. The important takeaway is understanding what these calls communicate. As you participate in more organized events, they'll quickly become familiar. Remember, coordination isn't about using complicated terminology. It's about creating a shared understanding that helps the team communicate clearly, operate safely, and maintain operational tempo. Module 4, Practical Application. Let's look at how these principles come together during a typical JTF-501 operation. An event lead has selected a Polaris to support a reconnaissance and ground infiltration mission. Although several operators have arrived with their own ships, the team has chosen to crew the Polaris together to maximize teamwork and support the operation. Before departure, everyone pitches in. Supplies, ammunition, and a ground vehicle are loaded into the cargo bay while a reconnaissance fighter is positioned inside the hangar. As operators board the ship, each announces they're aboard so the crew can maintain accountability. Rather than crowding ramps or elevators, everyone moves with purpose to help prepare the ship for departure. Once loading is complete, the pilot announces REDCON 3. Crew members begin moving to their initial stations, perform final equipment checks, and set their regeneration point aboard the ship before departure. Within a few moments, the Polaris is ready to get underway. As the ship approaches the objective area, the pilot announces OPSTAT Green. This lets the crew know the ship is prepared to conduct external operations. The hangar is cleared, and the reconnaissance fighter requests departure from the ship before launching safely into space. Once clear, the pilot of the reconnaissance craft reports departing the ship and begins screening the surrounding area for threats, while providing updates back to the Polaris. With the airspace appearing secure, the Polaris begins its approach to the landing zone. As the ship settles toward the surface, the pilot calls "skids down." Another crew member lowers the cargo ramp while the ground team prepares to deploy. As each element departs the ship, they announce they're disembarking and report once they're clear of the ramp, allowing the crew to maintain accountability before departure. Once the ground team is safely on the surface, the cargo ramp is secured, and the Polaris departs the landing zone to establish an orbit nearby, ready to provide support if needed. A short time later, the reconnaissance fighter reports multiple hostile contacts moving toward the objective. The pilot immediately announces REDCON 1. Across the ship, the atmosphere changes instantly. Casual conversation stops as operators move to their combat stations. Turret crews prepare their weapons, engineers begin closely monitoring ship systems, and the bridge focuses entirely on the developing situation. At the same time, the pilot announces OPSTAT Red. With the ship now maneuvering aggressively and preparing for combat, all routine external operations are temporarily suspended. No launches, recoveries, boarding, or cargo operations are conducted unless specifically directed. Moments later, several hostile missiles strike the Polaris. One turret begins taking damage, and a crew member transitions from an auxiliary position to assist with engineering and damage control. Fires are extinguished, damaged components are repaired, and power is redistributed while the remaining crew continues defending the ship. As throughout the mission, operators adapt to where they're needed most rather than remaining fixed in a single role. Meanwhile, the ground team completes its objective and begins moving toward the extraction point. Once the reconnaissance fighter confirms the landing zone is secure, the Polaris transitions back to OPSTAT Green and begins its recovery approach. The ship lands, the cargo ramp is lowered, and the ground team announces their boarding. Once everyone reports aboard and accountability is confirmed, the reconnaissance fighter receives clearance to recover aboard the ship before the hangar is secured for departure. With the entire team recovered, the Polaris departs the area and continues to its next objective. Throughout the mission, every operator contributed to the success of the crew. Some loaded equipment before departure, some launched and recovered aircraft, some deployed with the ground team, some defended the ship, some fought fires and repaired damage. Others coordinated the operation from the bridge. No one was limited to a single responsibility. Instead, the crew communicated clearly, adapted to changing conditions, respected the ship and one another, and worked together to accomplish the mission. That's what effective crew operations look like in JTF-501. Every operator contributes, every operator remains flexible, every operator helps accomplish the mission. Conclusion. Let's quickly review the key concepts from today's certification. Successful multi-crew operations begin with teamwork. Every operator should be prepared to serve as part of a crew, remain flexible, and contribute wherever the mission requires. Whether you're flying the ship, loading cargo, manning a turret, providing security, or assisting with engineering, every role contributes to the success of the team. Being a good crew member means respecting both the ship and the people aboard it. Communicate when boarding and disembarking. Move with purpose. Avoid creating unnecessary hazards or delays. Respect shared equipment and inventories, and help maintain operational tempo throughout the mission. Finally, remember that effective crews share a common language. Understanding basic shipboard terminology, readiness conditions, and flight operation status helps everyone stay synchronized and allows the crew to coordinate safely and efficiently during organized operations. Above all else, remember this: a ship's greatest capability isn't its weapons, shields, or size. It's the crew. Thank you for completing the Crew Operations Fundamentals certification. To receive credit for this certification, return to Discord and use the CERT code command. Enter the certification code displayed on your screen to have Athena automatically update your personnel record and award your certification. On behalf of the leadership of JTF-501, thank you for investing in yourself and in your fellow operators. Until next time, steadfast.